Intermittent fasting. You've heard of it, right? It's one of the biggest health trends out there, and people are saying it does everything from helping you lose weight to making you live longer. But what's the real deal? Is it some kind of revolutionary health secret or just another risky fad? We're going to cut through all the noise and give you the actual science-backed facts on both the good and the bad.
So what's the real story here? Is intermittent fasting this miracle solution for weight loss everyone's talking about, or could it actually be a serious risk to your health? That's the big question we're going to tackle. And you know what? The answer might really surprise you. Okay, first things first. What exactly is intermittent fasting? Well, to put it simply, it's not a diet like you normally think of one. It doesn't really tell you what you should be eating. Instead, it's all about when you eat. It's an eating pattern that creates specific windows of time for eating and for fasting.
Now, for many of us, the idea of fasting isn't anything new. We're pretty familiar with traditional religious fasts, or rut. But there's a really important difference we need to talk about. A traditional fast is usually done for spiritual reasons, and the food you eat to break it, like, say, sabudana, isn't really focused on calories. Modern intermittent fasting, though, that's totally different. It's all about health goals and science, and it's specifically designed to create a calorie deficit.
Okay, so with that difference in mind, let's dive into the promise of modern intermittent fasting. What's the big appeal here? Why is everyone talking about it? Let's explore some of the most popular ways people do it and then look at the science that's supposed to back up all the amazing benefits.
You know, one of the reasons IF is so popular is because it's so flexible. I mean, just look at this table. There are so many ways to do it. The one you've probably heard of the most is the 16-8 method. That's where you fast for 16 hours and then eat all your meals within an 8-hour window. But then there's also the 5-2 method, where you eat like you normally would for 5 days a week and then really cut your calories for 2 days. This variety lets people find a rhythm that actually fits their life.
But how does it all work? Like, what's actually happening inside your body? This chart breaks it down pretty well. When you start fasting, your insulin levels drop way down. In response, your body starts pumping out more human growth hormone. This powerful combo is like a switch that tells your body, hey, stop using the food you just ate for energy and start burning the fat we have stored away instead.
And it gets even more fascinating when you look at what's happening on a cellular level. Fasting triggers this process called autophagy. The easiest way to think about it is like your body's own internal cleanup crew or recycling program. It goes around clearing out old, damaged junk from your cells to make room for new, healthy ones. This is one of the most powerful benefits people talk about, and it goes way beyond just losing weight.
So when you put all that science together, you get this pretty incredible list of potential health benefits. Of course, there's the obvious one, weight and body fat loss. But studies have also shown it can improve insulin sensitivity, which is huge for managing type 2 diabetes. It's also been linked to better heart health by lowering blood pressure and cholesterol, and even to giving your brain a boost.
All right, that all sounds amazing, doesn't it? But, you know, every story has two sides. So now it's time to look past all the hype and really understand the other side of intermittent fasting. The risks. That includes the common side effects and some really serious concerns that have just started to come out. So we've talked about the good stuff, like weight loss and that cellular repair process. But let's be real. When people first start fasting, it's not always a picnic. Your body needs time to get used to it, and that can lead to some pretty common side effects. We're talking headaches, feeling tired and weak, and, of course, irritability. You know, that hangry feeling? Yeah, that. For a lot of people, these things do fade away, but they're a very real part of the initial experience. And beyond just those early discomforts, there's some more serious risks we have to consider. If you don't do it the right way, IF can actually lead to muscle loss. Also, losing weight too quickly can increase your risk of developing gallstones. And for people who already have health issues like ulcers or kidney problems, fasting can put some really dangerous stress on your body.
But here's the question we really need to ask ourselves. Is there maybe an even bigger danger? Something hidden that we're only just now starting to uncover? 91%. This is the number that just sent shockwaves through the entire health community. A huge recent observational study presented by the American Heart Association found that people who practiced that popular 8-hour eating window had get this, a 91% higher risk of death from cardiovascular disease. Now, okay, before anybody panics, this next part is the most important piece of context you need to hear. The study showed a correlation, not causation. What does that mean? It means it found a link, but it absolutely does not prove that the intermittent fasting caused the deaths.
Researchers are saying other things could be at play, like maybe those people had less muscle mass or making poor food choices. But what this finding does do is raise some very serious questions and tells us we need to be a lot more cautious.
So, with all this conflicting information, the amazing benefits on one hand and these scary new risks on the other, how in the world are you supposed to make a decision for yourself? Well, this final section is all about helping you make an informed and, most importantly, a safe choice.
Let's be absolutely crystal clear about this. Intermittent fasting is not for everyone. It's just not. As you can see here, if you have diabetes, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, if you have a history of eating disorders, or if you have issues with gallstones or ulcers, this is almost certainly not a safe option for you. The risks are just too high.
Now, if you don't fall into any of those groups and you're still curious, safety has to be your #1 priority. And that starts with step 1, consult a doctor. Seriously, this is non-negotiable. If you get the all clear, start slow. Don't jump right into 16-8. Maybe try a 12-12 split first. And this is so critical. Focus on high-quality, nutritious food. Fasting is not an excuse to just eat junk food for 8 hours.
So what are the big takeaways here? What do you really need to remember? First, IF is just a tool. It is not a magic solution. For weight loss, it mainly works by helping you create a calorie deficit. Yes, there are some really exciting potential benefits, but there are also new, very serious concerns we have to pay attention to. And please remember, what you eat is so much more important than when you eat. But the single most important takeaway is this: getting professional medical advice is absolutely non-negotiable.
Which brings us right back to our original question. Intermittent fasting, is it an opportunity for you or is it a risk? The science, as it stands today, shows that it can be both. The final answer really depends on your own personal health, and the only person who can help you make that call safely is a qualified medical professional.